Thanks. I'm joined here by editorial page editor Andy Rosenthal, my boss.
That's right.
So am I overdressed? Or you?
I think I'm underdressed, but we'll let it go. So I'm bringing a new style to this.
So I'm going to come to work like that on Monday. So Clinton.
Bill Clinton.
What are we expecting?
We're expecting another great performance by the performance artist of politics. He's the guy who gets locked in the coffin and buried 20 feet underground for 5 days and then emerges perfectly okay.
Hey, is this like a True Blood reference or something?
No, it's more like, what is that guy? The magician, the Times Square guy.
Oh, Blaine. David Blaine.
Yeah, David Blaine. He's the David Blaine of politics. He's here to lend some character and juice to this thing.
So you think it'll work? We have a few
Probably.
paragraphs, right?
We have 3 paragraphs that are completely unhelpful. But they're amusing. In the first one, he says, in Tampa, the Republican argument against the president's re-election was simple. We left him a total mess. He hasn't finished cleaning it up yet, so fire him and put us back in. So that's a classic Clinton line. Now, we don't know. Clinton, this is presumably the only 3 paragraphs that this hour Clinton has actually written. The legend is, is that he gave the Obama campaign his speech in 2008, 10 minutes before he went on the stage.
But seriously, though, isn't this the beauty of Clinton, though?
Absolutely.
Breaking things down, speaking in this kind of very plain colloquial language.
Yes.
That just steps beyond this kind of professorial thing that Obama does. And I mean, I guess what people knock him for, to say can be a little distant.
The remoteness of him.
The remoteness
right.
of
the
Obama.
inspiration of him, but the remoteness of him. And Clinton was the master of this. You remember how he undid George Bush in the debates?
So does this sound masterful so far?
Not quite, but it's pretty interesting. I mean, it's very aggressive and it's pushy, and that's what they want him to be. And it's it'll be folksy. He's not just plain folks, Bill Clinton. He was the president of the United States.
And a Rhodes Scholar.
And a Rhodes Scholar, and a very intelligent man with an interesting checkered past. But which he also seemed to have recovered from.
Yes.
Right? And remember that he did everything he could in 2008, some of it of dubious ethical quality, to try to make Barack Obama lose.
Or to help his wife.
Or to help his wife. I'm sorry, I put that poorly. Now, she's not here, of course. Yes. So this is the perfect night for Bill Clinton.
This is Bill's stage tonight. Bill commands the stage.
Absolutely.
He gets a bigger room than Obama gets because tomorrow they move inside, right?
Well, it's the same room.
No.
Are they in this? They're not in. It's the same room.
Oh, okay.
He gets the same room, but he gets it to himself.
Okay.
His wife, it's considered improper for the Secretary of State to engage in partisan politics, which is correct.
Exactly.
And they bumped Joe Biden to make room for Bill Clinton.
Yes.
Something that Joe Biden claims to be okay with.
And you think not? I mean, Joe's been taking some knocks lately. I mean,
I don't know if he's okay with it or not.
There's a Pew poll out today that they asked for a word association for Joe Biden, and the top 2 are something idiot, one of them, and
smart or good.
Something good idiot or something.
Yeah, well, that's Joe Biden.
He's
incredibly charming.
But do you think that? I mean, is that fair? I mean, the knocks he's taken lately are kind of like in comparison to Paul, who people have basically said, now this is an intelligent vice president, and now they've basically like taken Biden down.
Yeah, I think that's kind of nonsense. I think Biden is an impressive intellectual guy.
Exactly.
I think Ryan is an impressive intellectual guy, but Biden knocks him off the stage and the charm and the charisma thing. Now, his reputation is that he's always saying the wrong thing and he talks without thinking. I don't know whether that's true or not. Maybe he's talking while thinking. I mean, the thing about same-sex marriage, about marriage equality, he pushed the president to take a position on that. Right. And I think that the people say that the president's people were really angry about it. Right. But the president took the position, and it made a really big difference. And I think he cemented a part of his base, and also I think did the right thing.
Getting back to Clinton, what do you think about him coming after Elizabeth Warren? Do you think that there's any tension in terms of identity of the liberal wing of the party, or?
Yeah, I guess they're different. I mean, Elizabeth Warren and Bill Clinton represent different parts of kind of semi-liberal. Democratic Party. I think it could be overblown. I mean, Elizabeth Warren, if you look at it on paper, represents a kind of a populist thing about getting business under control, about reeling them back in. And Clinton was the Democrat who did away with welfare and also who brought the Democratic Party more in tune with business. His famous line was, we have to stop loving jobs and hating business, or something like that.
Right.
I think that you could make too much of that. You know, I mean, Clinton was a liberal, centrist liberal Democrat. He represented the Democratic DLC, the Democratic Leadership Council. His allegiance was to an ideology and not to the party, and it cost the party rather dearly. They lost Congress, you know, under him briefly. I mean, they lost the House for the first time in decades. But I think that this could be overblown. The Democratic Party is that party, you know? And Obama is more like Clinton than he is like Elizabeth Warren.
You think?
I do.
Huh.
Yeah. And in the intervening thing between Clinton and Elizabeth Warren, if you want to follow that, is George Bush. You know, and yes, it was under Clinton that the Glass-Steagall Act was revoked, an act of complete lunacy. And he did that, and it was part of this, you know, let's be more sensible about business things. But what that led to was this complete orgy of deregulation that took place after Clinton. And led to the near collapse of the economic system, the near destruction of our financial system. It was a complete disaster. And I think what you're going to hear from Clinton tonight is much more like closer to the Obama and then over to Elizabeth Warren's side than the old Clinton. I think
but that's like pre-recession, post-recession liberalism, isn't it? I mean, this is this kind of reaction to what happened. We set something in motion. We didn't think it would go quite this far, and we need to reel it back because of what happened.
Right. Well, we set something in motion and then turned the wheel over to the Republicans.
And they
went zzz on that thing. That's the left. They went this way, you know. and you know, I guess the Democrats thought, you know, well, you know, maybe, you know, Al Gore would win, and Al Gore was much more like Bill Clinton, probably than Elizabeth Warren. But there would be this kind of slow and careful, you know, although getting rid of the Glass-Steagall Act was not slow and careful, it was fast and crazy.
Now conversely, do you think that having both these parts of the liberal wing speak on the same night suggests more like a big tent approach, though? I mean, could it be that voters walk away from them saying, all of us can fit into this group?
Yes, I think so. You know, I got two sensible arguments. You know, one, you know, from Elizabeth Warren that's clearly more in line of, you know, and that's who she is. That's where she comes from, right? Remember, that's, you know, where she was before, about getting the business back under control. And then the Bill Clinton thing, which is reassuring to a lot of more conservative and older, let's be honest.
Older, also working class? I mean,
yes, absolutely.
He's the guy speaking to the working class, not Elizabeth.
Absolutely. Okay. And to a lot of other people. Remember, it was, who was it? Toni Morrison, who called him the first African-American president, right? That famous line. Right. And he speaks to a lot of different Democratic constituencies.
But they're not in danger of losing that.
Absolutely not. But there was this weird poll this week about women. We were talking about that, I think, the other day. ABC News had this poll that purported to show this gigantic swing in approval where Obama now has an overall negative rating among women. And it was like an 8-point swing. I'm sorry, I don't want to offend our friends at ABC, but it sounds to me like a pretty bogus poll, particularly because his popularity rating among all Democrats was 87%. So unless all those women were like 90% Republican, it's hard to see how it swings over. But I don't think there's any danger of that. I think, you know, the challenge for Obama in that area is enthusiasm. And that's to get people out working and to, you know.
And that's another Bill.
And that's another Bill thing. And I always thought, you know, that if Al Gore had not had that incredible inferiority complex about Bill Clinton could have won him Arkansas, and he would have won the presidency. If he had won Arkansas, Tennessee, or West Virginia, Florida would have been irrelevant. But Al Gore didn't even win his, you know, he didn't even win his own congressional district, which is sort of pathetic. But I think that's true. God, I hope it's.
I hope that's
But
true.
if he had allowed Bill Clinton to go out there for him, you know, and I think.
Do you think that Obama will loosen up and that Bill in the home stretch, Bill will be a very kind of prominent presence?
I think so. If this works tonight.
If it works tonight.
If it works tonight. Then
you think there's any danger that it might not?
No, unless he comes out with a chair. And his hair all disheveled, you know, and starts, you know, mumbling about Dirty Harry. I don't think so. I know Clinton, you know, and this is an odd thing to say about Bill Clinton, but he's a very disconned man. And he is the ultimate.
Okay, now that you may be the first person who has ever.
As a politician, I think he's incredibly disciplined. And I
don't know if I believe that.
He has something about him that when you're talking to him, you're the only human being on the universe at that 1 second.
But that's not discipline.
That's just empathy.
Yeah.
But I think he knows how to turn that on and turn it off. And I think he lost control of that as a president. But I think since then, and you look at this, I mean, he has managed to get Barack Obama, against whom he used some pretty dirty tactics in New Hampshire and Iowa in 2008, to bring him back on board.
All right.
Now, maybe he's just preparing 2016 for his wife.
Well, we're going to leave the 2016.
We don't want to do 2016.
Maybe our next conversation.
We don't want to do 2016.
We're done for tonight.